I feel like a lot of people, including myself, you'll
Mhm.
hear these phrases like you have to move toward the discomfort or you have to be in relationship with your negative emotions. And I think
Yes.
sometimes that is
Mm,
kind of confusing because it's like, well,
it
what does
is.
that mean? So I'd love to hear like how you would walk yourself through it.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And you're right. People are very confused. I hosted an IG Live last week and I kept mentioning the phrase sitting with your emotions. And then it made me realize that I needed to clarify that I don't actually mean sit down and be with your emotions. You can, that is one of the ways we can sit with our emotions. But what I really mean is actually continue to live your life as normally as you can with the emotion present.
Mm,
So it's going on the walk and being with your emotion. It's not going on the walk to get away from your emotion. It's, I'm going to go for a walk and okay, we're anxious on this walk. And I've learned to create some movement practices that I do when I experience this heaviness or this like concern or this like sort of impulsive, controlling feeling inside, which is just to do the movement practice as normal without trying to change what somatic experience is happening. Now, most people are trying to like do the yoga, do the workout, do the breath work to get rid of the emotion.
mhm.
And so that resistance is actually making it hard for them to experience the absence of resistance, which is what they actually are after. So the practice is not so much, here's what to do to get rid of it. It's more an invitation and suggestion to do as normal with that thing. Because the more we actually continue to like, okay, still go on the walk, but I'm anxious. Okay. Still go on the client call, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. That's okay. Right. We show our body that we don't have to have an internal reaction to what's happening inside because most of
Mhm.
us are experiencing internal trigger, like, okay, I feel anxious or I feel insecure. And then that actually triggers more insecurity, more anxiety. It's like, oh, we need to get rid of this. This is a bad thing. We experience it almost as like an external threat, even though it's coming from inside. So we have to learn how to not feel threatened by what feels threatening, if that makes sense. So again, the invitation is when you do feel this way, don't try to figure out how to not feel this way. That's actually what's going to continue to make you feel this way. I just recorded this video on how the way to relax is not to try to find a way to relax, it's to be okay with not being relaxed,
Mhm.
which is so ironic. It's like the Chinese finger trap of all Chinese finger traps. It's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I want to relax though. It's like, but wanting to relax is more tension, right? It's
Yeah.
resisting what is there. So I would say find a movement practice, like let's say it's a walk, it could be quick yoga flow on YouTube, it could be a dance practice, whatever it is that you do, and do it with the emotion there, not trying to change it. I even say to myself, like, okay, we're going on the anxiety walk. Like the intention is to literally walk with the anxiety and not be like, okay, I got to walk to get rid of my anxiety. Okay, I got to go walk to clear my head. I think we have a lot of these intentions that are to really resist what's present. And that's why they don't work. And I think
Mhm.
that's why you're asking the question. It's like, how do I get rid of this thing? And it's like, no, how do I learn how to just be with the thing? And that's the thing that gets rid of it because the thing that I realized is that you don't get rid of it. It changes. When you are there trying to get rid of it, that is just your mind. And that's actually creating more of the mental resistance and tension you feel in your body. So it's not you who gets rid of it, it's you who accepts that it's being there. And then it changes, it dissolves, it alchemizes. Like you just kind of notice it dissipate over time. It's like a wound. You scratch yourself or like get a paper cut and it hurts, but like you don't heal it, right? It heals,
Yeah.
right? You do what you can to support it. Like you could apply like an ointment, you can put a band-aid on there, put less pressure, these types of things, but you don't heal it. There's a natural sort of loving healing process that is kind of enveloping you. And so I feel the same way with the emotions. Like you don't get rid of your emotions. Your emotions come and go.
Yeah.
And the thing that we do, if we do anything, is learn how to be accepting and continue to move towards life with that being present. And then we create so much safety within ourselves that we don't have to live our life as like a disappointment avoiding obstacle course. Like, oh my God, I have to make sure I don't ever feel anxiety. And people will do crazy like bubble boy stuff to avoid anxiety. Like, okay, before I leave the house, I have to do this, I have to do that, and then I have to do that. And it's like, oh my God, you never feel okay because you're constantly trying to bubble wrap yourself from disappointment or discomfort instead of learning like, oh wow, like I can feel discomfort and like still show up to my calls. I can
Yeah.
feel discomfort and still go on the walk. I can feel discomfort and like still do my laundry.
Yeah.
Nothing, my agency doesn't dissipate as soon as I feel discomfort. And that's what actually creates a growing sense of capacity and safety for discomfort.
Yeah, I love that. The anxiety walk is like such a simple yet not simple thing. Like I feel like that's such
Yeah.
a key takeaway for me or for anyone else listening. I feel like I have my own versions of this, but it's like we're going on an anxiety walk. Like it can be there. Like it doesn't have to be to get to the end of the walk and feel some type of way. Maybe that happens as a byproduct of you moving your
Yes.
body or being more kind to the emotion there. But I think that's where we get stuck, and that's where the control piece comes in of like, well, I need to change what's happening in the
Yes.
world around me, and then it feels very heavy and tight. So I really relate with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because a lot of those uncomfortable sensations trigger the core negative belief, which for me was it's not okay. It's not okay. So what I had to do was take actions that showed myself it was okay, which was very simply to be okay with it. Like being okay with it is what makes it okay, right? Like
Yep.
if I cry in front of you or I feel anxious in front of you, the way that I learn it's okay for it to be sad or anxious is for you to be okay with me being sad and anxious.
Hmm.
If you try to change how I'm feeling, the message I get is that it's not okay. So, ironically, trying to change the sensation is what's making the sensation not okay. I mean, again, like this is an intellectual way of describing the process, but it is going to be somatic and it is going to take longer than the length of this episode to understand in your body. But learning how to create that window of tolerance of okayness for like, okay, like I'm anxious and we're going to go on the anxiety walk. Like maybe that walk is only 5 minutes and that's all you can handle for the day. And then maybe you go back into mental compulsions for the rest of the day. It's going to be learning how to, that's the thing about healing too, is it all happens slowly, like true healing. There's no such thing as like a spontaneous healing, I don't think. I think everything is brick by brick. So this desire even to like maybe be okay with all of your emotions suddenly, because I remember learning this and thinking, okay, I'm just gonna like be okay with all of them. That's not going to happen overnight either. So
Yeah.
many parts of you have learned to fear and not be okay with that. And so, yeah, I think that this healing is learning day by day, trigger by trigger, how to expand that window of tolerance just a little bit more. And so, my invitation is how can I be okay with this for 5 minutes? And maybe that does look like physically sitting down for 5 minutes, or it looks like just doing the dishes for 5 minutes with a lot of anxiety in your chest
Yep.
and you're like, okay, that was me being okay with it. And if you go back into like mentally rehearsing the day and trying to mentally check, okay, that's what you do to feel safe. That's okay for now. Next day, next week, whenever you have that trigger, it's like, okay, how do I be okay with this for 10 to 15 minutes? All right, we're gonna go on the walk. We're still gonna get dressed. We're gonna put on my makeup, even though I feel like I'm gonna throw up right now. Like you just learn how to be less reactive. And then the less reactive you become, the more your body learns like there's nothing to react to, right? Like if one person's really anxious and they're around someone who's really calm, they're getting the messaging that there's nothing to freak out about. And so we have to be those space holders for ourselves. But what happens is we feel anxious and we're like, oh my God, I'm anxious. Like we should freak out. Like we should do all the things that we do when we normally freak out. Instead of, no, we're just doing the dishes. We're gonna go for a walk. Like there is not a thing to freak out about. Even though I am freaking out, I'm not freaking out about it. Which is such
Yeah.
a weird thing to sort of verbalize because it's like, okay, so there's multiple versions inside of me sort of, right? Like I almost consider like my emotions to be like this child and then me as the awareness is the mother. And it's like, yeah, okay, you're freaking out. Like a part of me's freaking out, but I'm not freaking out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it allows there to be space and okayness for what feels not okay, which creates a more okay sensation over time.